Good afternoon, YouTube. I am going to attempt for like the umpteenth time to do a video on this stupid little kit. I've had this thing for probably a year and a half, 2 years now, and I'm convinced that this kit is cursed. Every time I try to get out and do a video on it, nothing happens. No fish are caught, something happens that ends up killing the video. Anyway, I'm going to take a couple extra jig heads with me because what this thing is, obviously it's a little cream kit, little booklet style kit. The bottom is a little tape measure thing. You can measure your fish. You got all these different jigs, but you get like 5 jig heads. And as snaggy as the places are that I fish, that many jig heads just ain't gonna cut it. So anyway, I'm gonna take a couple extra packs of jig heads and then see if we can catch anything at all. There's somebody already down the banks. The first thing we're going to throw on that little, or from that little kit, it's just a little, probably 32nd ounce jig head with a Bobby Garland style bait, black body, chartreuse tail. Fish. Decent little largemouth. Yeah, that fish is chunky. That one's a lot heavier than it looks, but probably go pound or so, a little bit over. Get a picture and get it back, and we'll take it and swap out baits, do it again hopefully. Again, that was on the little chartreuse tail, Bobby Garland-esque kind of bait. All right, the next thing is pretty much the same thing. It's just more of a shad color. It's kind of a silver belly black back with some blue and silver flake in there. Oh, that was right off the bat. As soon as it hit the water, something picked it up. Feels like a skipjack. No, it's a little bass fish. Another little bass fish. That's a little dink. That's probably a ½ pounder. But it's one more color down. I want to swap out and see if we can get another. Alright. Something I failed to mention with this little kit is each one of these pockets open individually. Like all the top ones open from the top, bottom ones open from the bottom. So just keep that little bit in mind. I'm also trying to be a little bit quiet because there's a couple other people down the bank, but we're going to put a little frog style bait on. See if that does any good. Honestly, don't see it, but then again, who knows? You know, everything's starting to spawn and come back to life after winter was over. Let's see if we can catch anything on a yellow frog. Got it. I don't know what you are. You're a little yellow bass. I had a feeling that's what that was. And you are barely hooked too. Ow, 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 ow. Open your jaw. I had it bouncing along the bottom and felt a little tick, missed it, just let it fall and just real slowly worked it back towards me, kind of like it was an injured little something on the bottom. And sure enough, it picked it up. So that's 3 baits down. I think this guy down here below me's caught a pretty good one. I don't know what it is. Finally, it's been probably 45 minutes or so since we caught some, but it's another speed shy little white bass. I kind of figured they were in here because there's been shad getting busted and chased all over this slough, especially back there in that corner where they're kind of stuck. Pretty little fish. And since everything besides the Bobby Garland style baits and the little frog style ones aren't really getting hit, I'm not going to use any more of the tubes. I'm going to go back to the Bobby Garland style ones, because those obviously are more of a shad profile. So I want us to go back to what I have more confidence in. Fish. Finally. It's been about 30 minutes since my last catch. I ended up swapping to a 1/8 ounce head just to get across the creek a little bit farther, because I'm sure everything within 50 feet or so has seen the same bait 100 times over. And it's not a huge bass, but it is a very healthy one. But yeah, 1/8 ounce head and the Bobby Garland pattern or style one. It's probably a pound and a quarter or so. Decent little bass fish. Let's get you back. Skadoosh. But yeah, I was using 32nd ounce, 16th ounce, and all that, and I've pretty much hit every rock between where I'm at and about 60 feet out. So I just put a little bit bigger head on and just trying to get a little more distance, and it made a difference. Something else that I noticed, some of the shad and little minnows and stuff like that's been pushed up shallow. I've got a pretty good look at them, and that particular color out of that little kit is just about identical to them. So like, you know what, it makes sense. Use what is most closely resembling the bait fish in here right now out of that kit. Alright, since these fellers down here have left, we're going to smoke this out for a little bit, because they were mostly using like a float and fly kind of technique, where I'm basically hover strolling and kind of working this little bait as kind of a Ned rig-ish kind of thing. So hopefully there'll be something down here interested in a different technique, because this bend in the creek right here looks really, really good. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on this when the water comes up, so I can do some catfishing from right here, because this definitely gets pretty deep right here. Oh crap, I just lost a good fish right here on the bank. I need to be making my way back, because all my stuff's down there and nobody watching it. There's a scale. Ah, right there's a carp scale. That was a carp that I snagged into down there. Fish. This feels pretty dang good. I wouldn't be surprised if this one is one of the bigger ones of the day, or if this one ain't the biggest of the day. What are you? Because you're not fighting like a crappie, and you're not fighting like a skipjack. See if I can get down here without slipping. It is definitely the biggest of the day. Really good spot. That one's probably 2 pounds, 2.5 maybe. Really good fish. That right there is fun on light gear, because that is not a monster by any means, but on lighter gear like crappie gear, ultralights, light power rods, that is fun. I don't care who you are. Well, YouTube, I hate this hat. What does that have to do with this video? Absolutely nothing. Besides, it's not as comfortable as the hat that I've been wearing. Hey, I am so glad to finally get this video done after 1.5 2 years, however long it's been. Too long. I've done a couple of videos, or tried, and there just wasn't enough to put into a video, but anyway, we'll go over this thing again real quick. This is the Cream Lure Book Kit. Everything you need to catch crappie inside our top selling crappie lures. Not sure about that. Plus tips and tricks from the pros. When you see that kind of stuff, you can't help but wonder, who are these pros? Because you never hear anybody talking about cream baits other than average Joes like us. But anyway, we'll go over what's in here again real quick and close this video out. Like I said, you got a little measuring thing here that goes out to 13 inches. You've got some frogs and multicolor. You got Bobby Garland style baits there, multicolor. Curltail grubs, multicolors. Tubes, multicolors. And a pack with like 6 jig heads in it, which, if you've seen any of my videos on kits, you know how much I hate the jig head to bait ratio in any kit. You'll get like 5 jig heads. They're usually all too small, too big, and not enough, but you get like 48,000 bodies. But it's a decent little kit, I ain't gonna lie. I'm saying that because I finally got this video over with. But you got all kinds of little information on here, and it's not an expensive kit. It's like $5.96, $6, something like that at Walmart, or anywhere that cream stuff is sold. Is it worth getting? I would say yes and no. No, because the amount of jig heads that you get in the kit, but yes, because it's small enough and compact enough that you could just put it in your hoodie pocket, or your whatever, your jean pocket, something like that, if you don't want to carry a bunch of crap around. And it's, I mean, kind of handy having the little measuring tape on there in case you're curious about how long your fish are. But anyway, this video, or this outro, has gone on far too long. Anyway, hope you liked the video. We'll see you in the next one. Alright, I'm just putting all my stuff up and about to leave, and y'all ain't gonna believe this crap. Why it got left down here, I don't know. There's something else over here that I'm gonna look at real quick. Why this got left down here, I'll never know, but I just happen to have a power source and had to hook it up and see if it works. And it does. Somebody left this glow light for night fishing sitting against the bank down here, and it still works. The plug's a little bit rusty, but as you can tell, it still works. That is freaking awesome. Something else that I found that I think is okay. I haven't really examined it too much. I threw it around just to make sure it was working right, but I'm guessing the person that left it up here, because it's been here for a little while now, got sick of throwing it or wasn't having any luck and thinking, hey, this is a magical thing that's just going to help me out. Cast net. All the braille lines seem to be in good shape. There don't seem to be any tangles or tears anywhere. Again, I'm going to look at it further when I get home. But I may have just got a free cast net, which is not an expensive one. It's one from Walmart, it looks like $20, $30 cast net. But hey, this is like a 6, 7 foot cast net, and it's going home with me because I've been known to lose some cast nets in my day.